Brian Pumwall at Rover,
Yeah.
what's your thinking there, moving him there?
Well, he's shown a real propensity to get his nose to the football. Really good tackler. Um, and so we're looking at somebody that, when you're in big spaces like that, you've got to be a really good tackler. And, he's just shown that over the first week or so that he's a guy that we feel comfortable in space tackling.
Is he a guy that could challenge for playing
Oh,
time?
sure, absolutely. Listen. This is not just about throwing guys out there. We're taking our time and effort out here and putting guys in that first and second rotation because we want to try to leave the spring with a sense and idea of guys that can compete for us against, top teams in the country. So yeah, this isn't just spin the wheel and I think we have to be able to try guys at different positions, but also have an eye towards this guy could do the job for us too.
Staying on the Rovers theme,
Yeah.
you singled out Jeremiah Owusu a
Yeah.
couple days ago,
Yeah.
and he's playing quite a bit there.
Yep.
What's also the plans now with Shane Simon? Seems to
He's
cross-train
he's getting some work inside. We just think he's a big-bodied guy that can add some more competition to that position. And again, we're just trying to find the right players at the right position. We really like everything about him, and so we need to get him more film and more really technique work inside to see how he fits there.
Jeremiah missed last season with
Yeah.
a broken foot there. What has he accomplished to really?
Well, he's always been an explosive player. It's just been, working on the other things. Assignment correct. He gets a little bit out of his lane a little bit here and there, and we think we got a good complement with him and Paul out there. Paul's very assignment correct. I think they're a good balance. I think Jeremiah continues to learn the position. He's explosive. He makes plays, but we got to get him to continue to learn the position too.
Brian, your assessment of the young receivers, Austin Keys, Wilkins, Lindsey, 6 practices in.
Yeah, we've been really happy with them all. I think they've all shown the ability to make plays. There's some, I think the one thing with Lindsey is his toughness. We like his toughness. He's shown that, playing and play out, he's going to stick his nose in there and get some tough yards for us. We like Keys. They got to just be more assignment correct. You probably heard me hollering at Keys out here. He has a tendency to, just miss a line here and there, and he's going to get through that. But these are all kids that have consistently, practice after practice, have made plays.
You haven't said much, if anything, about Kevin Austin.
He's
Not
very
so much
talented.
today, but the
He's
other
an
day.
extremely talented player. I don't think you leave at any practice and not say he's extremely talented. But I think you all know that there's more than just talent in this evaluation process of guys that are going to play, and he needs to bring more to it than just talent.
The young safety's getting a lot of reps without Gilman, and obviously
Yeah.
want to take a look at the new guys.
Yeah, Gilman was at class today. He had to take a Saturday class, so he wasn't here today. Yeah, we're trying to get, we're a little thin there, obviously, but we're trying to get as much work back there as possible without it being, walk-ons back there. So, and we moved Paul and trying to get Paul work there too. So, those guys are getting a ton of work. And they're making some progress. And so each day I think they get a little bit better at that. The young players certainly back there.
The other week, Chip Long, Annie, and both talked about this spring for Ian to push it, don't be afraid to make a mistake. I'm curious just sort of how you've seen that play itself out over 2 weeks.
I think what we want to see him do is, you got a red jersey on here in the spring. Let's slide in the pocket. Let's find that receiver that's cutting across the field, down the field. Let's find him. Keep your eyes down the field, and let's make some plays down the field. I think he's really worked hard to do that if somebody's there. We're not getting a lot of takeoff and run from him, and dump the ball down, use those 2 big tight ends, and I think we're seeing a little bit more of that.
And did want to see on Cole Kmet, do you sort of see him as sort of getting back to the, I don't want to go like Rudolph Eifert, but I mean, the way he's put together is...
He's going to catch a lot of footballs. He'll be a guy that we'll actually game plan and certainly look at how he touches the football each and every week. We didn't do that last year.
And lastly, I think Ovi Kokufu's move is
Yeah.
probably a move for 2020 or beyond. But I'm just curious what you flashed a little bit to us today, just sort of what you've seen from
He's
him.
flashed to us as well. You know, it's easy to compare, right? We try to find guys. He's a young Julian Okora. He's very twitchy. He's probably physically a little bit stronger than Julian was at this time, but they're on a similar career path. We think he's going to be the next guy that steps in when Julian moves on.
Jumping back to the young receivers, where do you think you are just in the passing game at this point?
We think we're really ahead. I mean, you know, Mike is really doing a really nice job for us as well. We think he adds a lot. And then the tight end, inclusion of the tight ends when we talk about the passing game. And don't forget, Jafar does a lot for us in terms of how we can use him within our passing game coming in and out of the backfield. So add Tony Jones to the mix. I think we got 5 guys out on you right away, and they all can catch the football and create some matchup
And
problems.
speaking of Tony Jones, are you seeing a quicker, more effective Tony Jones this spring?
We're seeing a guy that is running with low pads, playing physical, and it's the same guy every day. Yeah, you know, we got an A plus Tony one day and a C plus Tony. We're getting a consistent Tony every single day, and that's good for him. And that he's made those adjustments to come out here and practice at a high level every day.
Brian, what are you seeing from Phil Jakovic this spring?
Improvement. You know, there's he's seeing the field a lot better. There's a learning curve there for him. I think consistency in throwing the football. He gets a little bit low with his mechanics. His elbow drops a little bit and has a tendency to push the football a little bit. He's cleaning that up. That's going to come with just, repetition and Tommy working with him. But he's going to get there. I mean, we're really high on him. It's just, he's not at a championship level yet, but you can win with him. We'll get him to the point where he can play at a high level.
And how do you feel about your corner depth at this point?
I like where we're going. I mean, I really do. I mean, Houston's coming on. He's learning the position from a technique standpoint. He's got the physical ability, but every day, for example, in the 2-minute, he had an under-over situation and he sank too low. Chase Claypool catches a ball behind him. That's, those are great teaching, moments for him, and he picks up on them right away. So, love the fact that we're gaining great experience. Troy's getting better every single day. Bracey's getting better there. I think Avery's made great improvements. So I like where we're going with the depth there.
About halfway through the spring practices here, how do you feel overall about where your team is right now, just kind of in general, the vibe right now as we kind of...
It's good. I mean, the guys are, they're working hard in the weight room. They continue to really want to do the right things, and our standard is pretty high here. They're here to win, a championship. So I like the pace. We had a tough day today. This is probably, from my putting together schedules for 29 years, this was as much work as we've had in a spring practice that I can remember, and they handled the load pretty good. So it's good. We got a lot of work to do before we open up. But I like the path we're on.
Has there been anyone or position group that maybe has stood out to you so far this spring that you maybe didn't expect to stand out to?
Well, you got veteran guys on the edge of your defense. Obviously it starts there. With Khalid and certainly Dalen and Julian. Those guys. Heinisch is doing a great job inside. Myron. I think that defensive line. Kind of stands out right away. Robert Hainsey, unfortunately goes unnoticed because he's so steady every single practice. He just does good things every single day. I think the offensive line, those guys that have played a lot of football and those defensive linemen, they're as good as we've had, in terms of day-to-day getting their jobs done.
Aaron Banks also was left tackle.
Yeah, because Liam had a class today.
Is that product of that, or?
Well, he's better suited to play out there than Lug. So who's the next guy in is what we're looking at more than anything else. Does Lug go out there or does Banks? We like Banks because he's played out there. He's got really good feet. So Lug would plug in inside as the first man in, and then Banks would kick out.
Would Banks be also at the right side too in case?
Well, you know, now you're talking about, you know, when the dam breaks. You know, we're going to have to find somebody there. You know, so you know we're certainly going to continue to work and find who that next guy is, but it'd have to be a younger player.
And
Yes.
Patterson, the progress at center.
It's really good. He's a good player. He's a good player. Yeah, there's little nuances here and there that, you know, he's got to continue to work on. But yeah, he's fit for the part.